my deepest blue, but I'll be watching you from here.
Hello, how are you? Very nice to see you here. It is an absolutely gorgeous spring day here in Sydney, and I'm going to try really hard to get out into it and not stay in my little attic room. But yes, I don't know if to you I sound funny, but I did a gig on the weekend and I loved the gig. I had a great time at the gig, but they had the air conditioning on full blast because it's getting quite warm in Sydney now. And the air conditioning vent was right above the stage. And I don't know what it is. I guess people just don't realise that do that kind of work. But air conditioning vents quite often are on top of the stage. And it's the absolute worst place to be. Because even though I think builders are thinking, oh, well, you know, the entertainers need to keep cool and they're running around and getting hot and sweaty. But the thing is, for a singer, air conditioning... Hi, Larry. Hi, Sydney. Listen to me. For a singer, the air conditioning is never your friend. Even just, you know, being in restaurants and houses and whatever with air conditioning is really not good. You know, singers need hydration, and air conditioning really dries up the air. And when you're actually singing in the air conditioning, it can really get you. And both Joe and I, the other girl that I sing with, kind of lost our voices by the end of the night. Not that anyone would have noticed with the singing, because, you know, you managed to get through that and use the technique to get by, but by the end of the night, and I've been suffering ever since, and it just makes me cough, which is not a good thing at the moment. Coughing, always people go, oh. So I apologise if I sound a little bit weird. I sound weird to me. Hi, Barbara, all the way from Germany. Lovely to see you. And Jill, how are you? I bet you it's beautiful and sunny. Jill is from the central coast of New South Wales, which is just, you know, an hour and a half or so north of where I am here in Sydney. And it's absolutely a gorgeous place. It's just really lovely. It always seems to be sunny there. Tim from England, lovely to see you. And we have our American friends here too, which is so great. I love that. Oh, you're nice, Sydney. Maybe you should skip this today. It's okay. I'm not hurting anything, and I'll miss you guys if I'm not here. But I probably won't. I won't sing for you. I am trying to rest the singing part of my voice, if that makes sense. And I've only got one gig this week, although I do think that will change because I've been working at the Star, which is the only casino in Sydney at the moment, at least, and just a divine gig. I get to play the little baby grand piano and look out on the cityscape, and it's just a really lovely gig. And I think the gig itself, rather than only just the artists, were on trial for the last little while to see if it was working in this current environment and that people were responding well and everything. And I think we passed. It looks like the gig will be continuing. So I don't know how regular it will be, but it's looking good, which is, you know, so exciting in this point of view. So Jill, you say that the air conditioning hurts you as well. Yeah. Look, I appreciate it when it's really hot and you like the cool, but yeah, it's no good. Hi, Grace, all the way from Japan. Lovely to see you too. Oh, Sydney, you would need to have air conditioning where you live, I'm sure, when it gets so hot all the time. And that's the thing, sometimes we do need it, but when you get that blast of air right in your face and you're a singer, so you can't shut your mouth. Anyway, I will survive. This has happened to me before. This has happened to every singer before, and I will bounce back. So I wonder if you noticed, are you thinking, is she wearing her own T-shirt? And is that really naff? Yes, and yes. Let me show you. And is it really way too big? Yes, again. So the reason I am wearing this T-shirt is, I don't know if you remember or if you were part of it, but a little while ago I sent out an email, and I did something on my live stream as well, showing you different designs of merch that I was thinking of doing, and I got everyone to vote on the designs that people like the best. And three designs came up, kind of equal winners. This is one of them, which is basically an adaptation of the artwork from Polaroids and Postcards, which is my current mini album. And another one was this. So that's an adaptation of the art from my Out of the Blue album. And obviously this is my teacup. And the third one, which I think was probably the most popular, was this one. Not with the white around the edges, but that's just for that picture. And I don't know if you've heard me tell that story before, but that blonde little icon, who was obviously, a better looking version of me, came from, originally that logo had red hair. Hello, Shane, lovely to see you too. It originally came from a logo that's kind of the same, but it had red hair. And I used to have really bright red hair, as Grace would know. I think you remember. Do you remember me with red hair? Maybe not. I can't remember. Anyway, it's a little while ago now. But one day I was walking through King's Cross, which was a big entertainment kind of district in Sydney, and borderline quite sleazy, but lots of great clubs and things like that. And this guy, who obviously had quite a bit to drink, stumbled out of a pub, and he had his cigarettes and matches in his hand. He looks at me with my bright red hair, looks at obviously his matches, and goes, "You're the chick off my Matchbox." Because the redhead matches thing with the bright red hair, I had the same kind of hairstyle and the same kind of hair colour. And so I got the idea to kind of pinch that iconic redhead's picture and turn it into a different version for me, for my logo. But I've had green, blue, black, blonde. I'm a brunette, so it's boring. I've never had that. But all different colours over the years, and so I've changed the logo as I've gone. So this blonde version, you can see, is very similar to the Redheads logo, but it's blonde. And so that was the third of the designs that kind of were the most popular. And the reason I'm wearing the T-shirt, yes, it is good advertising, because I've just opened this new merch in the shop. And, I want to show it off. But the reason is I wanted to get samples first, because, you never know what it's actually going to look like in the flesh. So it took about 2 months for this T-shirt to arrive. And I purposely, obviously it's rather large. I'm a small and this is an XL. But I'm really not going to wear my own T-shirt in public, because that's just embarrassing, especially when it's actually got my face on it. And so I bought one that I could wear to bed. And I like wearing big comfy T-shirts to bed. And it's really nice and soft, so it is comfy. And I wanted to wash it and make sure that, the print didn't come off, and it hasn't. They do this new thing, because I had T-shirts that Larry would know about that used to have the Redhead logo on it. But gosh, they were made more than 10 years ago, and they were that kind of, it was like an iron-on, even though it was professional, made T-shirt. It was like an industrial iron-on. And so eventually, after lots and lots of years in washers, but that kind of will start to peel off. This doesn't do that, because it's called direct-to-garment printing. And it means, because Sydney, you were asking this as well, that you can print white on black and black on white and all the different colours, so you don't need to, worry about that. It's just any print will work on any colour. And I'm really pleased with the way this looks. So there you go. But I got coffee cups made as well, and I wasn't pleased with the way this one worked out. So this was the second design that was the most popular, and I've ended up changing it. I've moved the font around. I didn't like the way it sat. But also you can see it looks a bit dark. It's just a bit black on black. And the cup itself, I've used it a million times, and the picture doesn't come off at all. But it's just the way I've chosen the print, so it's my fault rather than theirs. So this will be a winner. This will be my cup forever. But I'm only doing cups with the blonde logo on it, because it's just the contrast on this doesn't work. So there you go. There's all this stuff with Amanda Easton written on it around the house, which is rather embarrassing, but that's okay. I'd rather check out the products before I start buying them and have people go, "That's rubbish." And so I've only just added all these products into the shop this week. If you're on my mailing list, you would have received a very special discount code, which means you get 20% off everything, and that's till next Monday. And if you're not on the mailing list, there is still a code, and it's New Store 10, Or you could be smart and you could email me, get on the mailing list, and I'll send you the 20% code. So this opening specials are only lasting till next Monday because it's almost break even when I use the codes, but I just wanted to encourage people to come by and have a look. And I have got CD bundles as well, so if you are after getting a CD, now is the time to get it because they're the cheapest they are. And of course, I'm still in Polaroids and Postcards mode, which is my current album. It only came out kind of end of November last year, but I'm already right in Wallflower mode, which is the brand new album. It won't be out until, I'm thinking, very late January next year, so that people are actually around. But again, if you're on the mailing list, and that link is how you get on the mailing list, if you get on that mailing list, I'm going to start sending out from next week some of the tracks from the album, just as a gift, because I figure if you're on the mailing list, then you care about the music, and that's the people that I'd like to hear it. And there are still a few more tracks to be recorded. Everything's been written, although there's some tweaking, and it's very exciting. I mean, that's a very quick turnaround for me to have just a year between releases. But the current album, Polaroids and Postcards, is only a mini album, just 6 songs. This new one will be a proper full length. I'll have vinyl, and it'll be, I think, 12 tracks. And of course, on the weekend, I wanted to tell you something else about this T-shirt that's funny. I'm selling all my new merch and CDs and everything through Bandcamp, who you might know. It's like an indie music and merch store. But I wanted to upload the products also to Facebook so that I could tag them in posts and do all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I looked at my Facebook account this morning and there was a message saying, one of your products has been rejected because it violates our advertising guidelines or something. I'm like, what? And I looked into it, and it was this T-shirt, and it said, you violate the advertising guidelines because of adult content. Like, what? That's just my face. What are you talking about? But, I used to think that Facebook was kind of faceless. It's just like, you can't actually talk to anyone at Facebook, right? Turns out you can. And I've actually had conversations, about advertising and things with people from Facebook. And I think it's important to remember that there are people, it's not just an algorithm. There are people, but generally it starts off, the algorithm will flag something. I don't know what it was. I wonder if it's because my dress is actually kind of flesh-coloured, and that the algorithm has somehow picked it up and thought, she's not wearing any clothes. I don't know, I can't think of any other reason why they would say that my T-shirt design is adult and inappropriate. Hi Lou, how are you? Oh my goodness, you've got the bundle already. You've got one already. Yes. So that's what I've done with the CD bundles. A lot of people have Polaroids and Postcards but want to get the older stuff. So I've created a bundle of CDs where you can get everything pre-Polaroids and Postcards, and that's 20% off. And it's an extra 10 or 20% off at the moment if you use those codes. And just to remind you again, New Store 10 is the code. And there's an even better code in your email if you're on the list, and you can always email me. I know one time at Bandcamp, that's kind of cute, huh? I love the way that they've called that store Bandcamp, and it did come out after that movie, so no doubt they did get it from there. Okay, where are we up to now? That's right, I did the shoot for the album cover of Wallflower, my new album that's coming out in January, and I might just play you the behind-the-scenes movie. And this is the very first preview of anything from Wallflower that you'll hear, because the song that I put on the soundtrack of this little behind-the-scenes little mini doco thing is actually a song that is on Wallflower. So this is the debut of something from Wallflower. Hope you like it. So it's photo shoot day for Wallflower, very exciting. So the studio we're shooting at is actually in the middle of the city. So it's kind of a neighbourhood with character. This is the before look. Alright, this is Surrey Hills. where are we? Can't see anything. It looks like a photo studio yet. Here it is. Okay. Hi, it's Amanda.
Is this your way of telling me you want me near?
Wow.
Am I the girl in the song that you're singing? Am I the jelly glove that keeps your head spinning? Am I the girl in the song? Is it the pillow of my lips and the nape of my neck? The curve of my back and the light in my
Hello, Cherie and Kelly,
Is it me?
Andy.
Melody.
Look at this heavenly makeup.
Am I the one who makes you high? Am I the girl in the song that I'm hearing? Am I the one that gives you reason for living? Am I the girl in the song? Will we stay enshrined there? Is it safer there? The song will always have you wanting me. Am I the girl in the song that I'm hearing? Am I the one that gives you reason for living? Am I the girl in the song?
So that's a wrap for the Wallflower shoot. Oh my goodness, I had so much fun. Every time I do a music video or a photo shoot like this, I gotta say, I have a blast working with amazing creative people, coming up with different ideas. And you know, a lot of artists love making the music and kind of grit their teeth through the photo sessions and all that kind of stuff. But for me, oh my God, I don't know, I love it. So much fun. So that was Friday last week. And hi, Glenn. Hi, Wayne. Thank you so much for joining us. And you can see I had a good time, huh? I love doing stuff like that. And I don't know if you noticed, there were 3 different kind of setups in the photo shoot. So I had 3 different hair colours, which is, very me, I suppose. But the idea is, the wallflower character is kind of a character, and then there's the more showgirl. She's a bit, she's a bit fierce. She's borderline, kind of a burlesque-y, madam-y type character. And then there's the white ice queen, who is a little bit more sci-fi. They're kind of 3 different characters that are reflected in a lot of the songwriting, and I feel like they're kind of parts of my character. But probably everybody has different parts of their character. You don't only know a person's one side. Sometimes some of the other sides are secret, but they're there. We're all a mixture of characters, and so that is the idea behind Wallflower. And so thank you. I hope you enjoyed the song as well. The song actually is called Girl in the Song, and I got given a book called Girl in the Song. So I stole the title, which is actually quite common and it's not copyright or anything. But the idea of the book is, a lot of big rock and roll songs are about females. I mean, think of how many songs have a girl's name. There's even a Mandy. And this book is about the history of the stories of the women behind the songs in some of these big famous rock songs. It's a really interesting book that a friend of mine gave me, and it got me thinking that imagine if you were the girl that was in the song. And I actually heard kind of a friend of mine, male friend of mine, sing a song once that I wondered if it was about me, and that could be very vain. Or, you could take that in a few different ways. And if you really look at the lyrics of that song, Girl in the Song, you can see the girl is a little bit stalkerish. And, you do hear of those stories where there's a famous singer and they'll start to get somebody who's a bit too much of a fan and says, oh, I know you wrote that song about me, even though they've never met. I know you're secretly in love with me. And so there's a little bit of that in the song too, a little bit of a dark side. So, yes, characters. The Wallflower album is all about characters. But I do have to say, because the Polaroids and Postcards album isn't even a year old, I feel almost guilty talking about the new album. It's almost like I'm having an affair with a new album. And, albums become your babies for so long, all the promotion, all the preparation, the writing, and they're, a part of you. And it's quite hard to move on. Anyway, it doesn't. I don't have to move on completely. It's not as if I have to ignore the old album from now on. But one of the nice things is, a little while ago, I did something with a group of Sydney folk called Spotlight on Sydney, and you might have seen the behind the scenes that I did on my live stream a few weeks ago, and I got to perform live, which I haven't had a chance to do much because of the COVID issues. I haven't had a chance to perform my Polaroids and Postcard album's songs live very much at all. Just the timing was bad. And they invited me into the studio with a small version of my band because we had to social distance still. And I performed 3 of the songs from the album live, and they recorded them and did an interview and all that kind of stuff. And the thing is, I did them differently live than I do on the album, because you can, and it's nice to be able to do things slightly differently. So you might have already seen some of these clips on my page. There's an interview that's quite long, so I plan to cut that up in little pieces and post that on my page as well, although the long one is there if you've got 49 minutes to spare. But what I really like about these versions of the songs are that they have guitars in them. I used to always have guitars in my music, and for no particular reason, I just changed direction a little bit and got more into synths and pianos and that kind of thing. And that doesn't mean you can't have guitars as well, but I just went down a different path, and I'm just, after seeing these songs and hearing these songs with the guitar added, so the guitar's not on the recordings at all, so it really gives a different point of view to the songs. I'm thinking, I'm loving the guitar. And so even though some of Wallflower's already finished, certainly some of the stuff I'm still working on is going to feature guitars. Anyway, this is the title song from Polaroids and Postcards that we did live at Spotlight on Sydney. Guitar.
Didn't like the same bands, didn't fight over the same man. I really miss you and me. You know I didn't ever mean to let you fall in my slipstream. Do you ever think of me? A dress I wore, a song I used to adore. By away those Polaroids and postcards. Now time's persuaded, those memories are fading. But are they bitter or sweet? Souvenirs and mistakes, putting back together heartbreak. It's the same world. Just can't believe you're at a loss for words. You're the same girl with a new punchline. I'll keep your secrets, you know all of mine. A dress I wore, a song I used to adore, packed away those Polaroids and postcards. A dress I wore, a song I used to adore, packed away those Polaroids and postcards.
So that's part of like an internet TV show, I guess you'd say, called Spotlight on Sydney, which is obviously highlighting Sydney artists, Sydney music artists, and it's being put together by a group of Sydney music artists and producers. And that was just episode 3, so it's still a brand new show, but you can find them on YouTube, Spotlight on Sydney. And the idea is the first two episodes that they had were legendary artists from the 80s, and I think next week they've got a brand new blues band, so it's going to go all over the spectrum with different types of music and different, experiences. So people that are starting out, people in the kind of in the middle like me, I suppose, and people that are legends of the world already. Yeah, Sydney, so you say it's amazing the difference between guitar and no guitar. What do you think? I like it. I really like the addition. It is different, and different is good, I think. So I don't regret not having guitar previously because it's different. And then, when you do add guitar, it creates something special. So anyway, hi Ralph from Scotland, lovely to see you. And speaking of Scotland, I've actually got a Scottish grandma. So I'm part Scottish, and that's where the Amanda Easton link comes in. But travelling, oh my goodness, I think, I've been really thinking about travelling again, and obviously we can't. Well, I don't think we can even travel to a different state at the moment here in Sydney, even though our cases are getting to the point where we're non-existent. We actually had 11 days in a row with 0 new cases, but then we had a little spike, just in time for me to lose my makeup artist for that shoot that I showed you just earlier. The day before the photo shoot, she called and said, I'm really sorry, but I've been to 3 of the COVID hotspots that have just been published. And I didn't even know any had been published because we hadn't had any cases for so long. And I must check on her to see how she is actually. But she obviously was doing the right thing and had to go and get tested and quarantined straight away. So I managed to get a fantastic makeup artist to replace her. So that's really good. But travelling, I really, really, really miss travelling. I normally go somewhere every year. I was supposed to go to Fiji this year, and I would love to get to Europe and to the States. And when I was little, one of the things I loved, what am I talking about when I was little? It hasn't changed. One of the things I love about travelling to different countries is eating the food in different countries and the snacks and just the stuff off the shelf that you can buy that's different. And it's almost a shame now that we've become so global that you can get food from everywhere already in your own hometown. And Sydney is very cosmopolitan and metropolitan, and you can get everything, but it's not the same as buying it in its local place. One of the things that I loved about going to the States when I was little, the first place I went to was Hawaii in America. And I bought Oreo cookies because that was something you couldn't buy in Australia. There was Oreo cookies, and there were Reese's Pieces, Hershey's Kisses. There was that cinnamon-flavoured gum, Big Red. Anyway, eventually, you started to be able to get all of those things here, and you can now fairly easily. I mean, they're just in the supermarkets. But that was one of the things. People would go to America and you go, oh, can you get me some Oreos and bring them back? And Excuse me. And nowadays, you can just get them off the shelf of your supermarket. So that's kind of a shame. But at the same time, traveling and all the different things that you experience, including the food. I love going to supermarkets in other countries, which sounds boring, but I love it. And when I saw this, I thought, this is a piece of good news. I like to share a piece of good world news every time I do a live stream. And this might not seem like groundbreaking good news, but Oreos have released a rainbow type, and I don't know if you can get these in Australia, but at the moment they're giving away 10,000 packets of rainbow Oreos. And the rainbow Oreos have been designed to support the LGBTQ plus community. So this is what they look like. So yum! How good do they look? I thought that was good news worth sharing. And of course, I have to play you a funny animal video. This one, I'm pretty sure you sent this to me, Sydney. This is a dog. You know I love cats. I love animals in general. Oh, can I tell you a quick story about my pussycat? My little Smokey, who often, it's too nice a day for her to be in here with me today, but she spends a lot of time, on my computer and on my face and pretty much in the way, because that's what cats do, and I love her for it. The other day, I heard some commotion outside the front of my house, and what Smokey likes to do is lie on the footpath. You get a lot of kids coming home from school, to and from school, walking to the shops. It's not a super busy street, but ish. She lies across the footpath, so you have no choice but to step over her, or ideally pat her, because she's a very friendly little girl. And pretty much, if you don't notice her, she'll get more in your way. So she pretty much trips you up so that you have to pat her. Anyway, I heard all this commotion out the front of the house, and I go, hush, hush, which was Smokey in the tree. And there was a couple of people with two little dogs. I think they were like toy Pomeranians, really little ones, cute. I love dogs. I'm not just a cat person. But anyway, the man started abusing me. Your cat went after my dogs, and now look, my dogs are all scared. And I could see that the dogs were perfectly fine. Part of me, I've got to admit, was going, hey, Smokey, yeah. And I know that's mean. I don't want any animals to be hurt, but the dogs were fine. And I just thought, my little cat beat your two dogs. I couldn't help it. So now Smokey gets called Smokey Dogfighter. Her name is already Smokey Skywalker, because she likes, we're Star Wars fans here, but also she likes climbing really high on things. She's always getting stuck on the roof, so she's probably not really a great Skywalker, but now she's Smokey Dogfighter Skywalker. Oh, yeah. And anyway, this man's telling me off, and I'm apologising. Hi, Chip. Hello. Lovely to see you from Montana. And the man's telling me off because my cat's aggressive. And I said, look, Smokey is the friendliest thing. I've never seen her be aggressive unless she's scared. She's just not that kind of cat. She'll let anyone pat her, and she's so friendly. And then the lady in the couple went, yeah, that's right. That's what we thought. We saw her and saw how friendly she was. So I went over and gave her a pat. I'm like, okay, you went over to her with dogs on the lead, and you tried to give my cat a pat? No wonder she freaked out. She's a cat. They're dogs. They don't get on unless they know each other for years. Anyway, that's my Smokey story for this week, since she can't be here in person. But I'm going to play you this little funny dog video. It's not always about cats. Just to put a smile on your face. Oh, they put the nanny cam on the dog during the day because the neighbours were complaining about noise and they wanted to see what was going on. I just adore that. So Smokey, my cat, loves crawling all over my keyboard too, but she's not quite as musical as that. And all she does is change all the settings so that when I next go to play a song, it sounds like, spaceships are landing or something like that. Anyway, lovely to see you all. Very nice of you to join me. I apologise for the voice. If you missed it earlier, I got caught in the air conditioning at a gig, so I'm not singing for you today because I could do like a Bonnie Raitt or something. Anyway, I better give it a rest. Have a wonderful week. I'll be back here on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. my time. We are now on Australian Eastern Daylight Time because it's daylight savings, which is beautiful, getting another hour of sunlight in the evenings. Have a great week, and I hope to see you next time. All the best. Bye.